Hi, good morning. We'll go ahead and get started. On behalf of the Coca-Cola team, I want to say welcome to the Pikeville facility, and I want to say thanks for taking the time to come out today. And, it's hard to believe it's been almost a year to the day since we were here last time talking about Hillbilly Days coming up. And, it seems like it's really this past year has really gone by quick. I'm not sure what that's a sign of, but I'm sure it's a sign of something. It seems like it's just been a few months, but it's been a year almost to the day since we were here last time. And Hillbilly Days is a fun time of year. It's a time where the county and the city government, the Chamber of Commerce, a lot of the Shriners, a lot of volunteers, craftsmen and musicians, and everybody comes together to put on a great festival. And in parts of the world, butterflies show up at town a certain time of the year, and birds show up at town a certain time of the year, and here in April you'll see hillbillies migrating to Pikeville. It's that time of year again. It's just a home in to Pikeville, and Pikeville becomes a hillbilly haven. It's a great time of year. But why is it important? Well, I think the connection and what makes it important, and why Hillbilly Days is different, is because of the connection with the Shriners hospitals. I mean, the Shriners, all the work they do, the amount of time, the amount of money that they put into supporting the hospitals, the quality of care that the hospitals provide to kids, all the work and the fundraising that the Shriners do to make sure that quality care is free. The transportation teams that transport those kids back and forth to the hospital, free of charge. They put a lot of hours in. I mean, I know on the Parkway, I can see that red van traveling. Sometimes it's just enough daylight left to tell what it is, but you can see it traveling the Parkway, heading back up this way from being down in Lexington, and they just do great work, and that's why Coca-Cola is proud to support the Shriners hospitals financially. And we're very happy to be able to do this again this year. I'm not sure how long this has been going on. I know I've been up here since 2000, and we've been doing something similar to this every year since then. I think it actually goes back into the 90s is when they started. But we're very happy to support them financially. We're also happy to support in other ways. You'll see in the market beginning today, you'll see special point of sale out in the stores to be out there through Hillbilly Days. It speaks to the Shriners' mission about helping kids, and also has the toll-free number on there, how to help a child. And I've had a lot of Shriners tell me that to them that's more important probably than the money itself, is to have that number out there. And so we're just very thankful we have the opportunity to help the Shriners. And as far as Hillbilly Days goes, we're going to be supporting the festival again this year in many other ways. We'll have the cornhole tournament, which has become very popular. We'll have it down in the city park. We'll have tournaments on Thursday and Friday evening, and 3 tournaments on Saturday. We've been fortunate. It's grown every year. We've had the #1 player in the world here more than once. We've had #2 player in the world, #5, #9. And it's fun to watch people with that much skill come down and pitch. It's also fun to watch that a lot of the local pitchers give them a run for their money. And actually, some of them have come down and actually played one game and been done. They're going back home. And that's pretty interesting to see, because the talent here in this area is actually got better each year, and I expect that to continue again this year. We'll also be supporting the Chamber. A lot of our employees will be unloading the craft vendors in the parking garage again this year. We usually have 8 or 10 employees down there helping to get them unloaded, and so they have a good experience and want to come back to set up again the next year, and we'll be helping with that. Some of us will be helping park vendors on the streets. We'll be putting a tent up at the campgrounds for the Shriners campground. We'll be providing beverages to the police and fire and rescue, the barricades, and some of the other support teams that are out there. We'll be helping some local nonprofits. That a lot of times Hillbilly Days is their fundraiser for the year, whether it's a church or scouting or some other organization, and so several of those will be trying to help this year with product donations and helping them to help raise some money this year, so as we do every year. So we're looking forward to that. Hillbilly Days, Coca-Cola wants to be a good corporate citizen, and Hillbilly Days gives us an opportunity every year to step forward and do something for the community. So we're fortunate today to have someone that's been a long time supporter of the Shriners Hospitals and of Hillbilly Days, and who's seen it grow over the years from very humble beginnings to what it is today. And at this time, I'd like for you to welcome the Pike County Judge Executive, Wayne T. Rutherford.
Gosh, what would we do without everybody working together, and especially Coca-Cola for what they do for this festival. But I always like to give a little bit of history. I was in the office and years ago, 1977, I got two visitors, Grady Kenny, Jimmy's dad's late dad, Harold Stratton. They had just returned from Ashland and a meeting and an ideal that they had in their head of a festival to raise money to help crippled children. They wasn't very happy. The El Hasa Temple had informed them at that time, due to liability, that they could not sponsor Hillbilly Days, but they was for it, and they would, of course, want the money for the hospital. They had gone by Mayor Hamlin's office and talked to them about the city of Pikeville being a sponsor. And they wasn't very happy at the reception they got. Mayor said, and come to see me. I had the court system. I tried cases at that time as county judge. And the mayor said, the rednecks will take over Pikeville, and I don't want that. Well, he was a little right. He came to see me, and I said, I'll tell you what, let me talk to the physical court and see what they'll do. I have the court system, and if this idea that Grady Kenny and Herb Stratton has to raise money for the hospital and to build a festival, we will think about doing it. And we will learn these rednecks, and Mayor Hammer's right, they arrested 68 on Friday night of the first Hillbilly Day. That's how many they brought out before me as a sitting judge. Didn't take long to break the rednecks, Judge Hayes, from trying to take over one of the best communities in the country, the city of Pikeville, and one of the best mayors the county ever had, Mayor Hamley, and his leadership. Mayor Hamley became one of the best supporters of Hillbilly Days, and many of you remember he was put at the head of the parade more than one time during his lifetime because of his support. Him being a medical doctor and knowing the hardships that families went through for crippled children and what this hospital did for him, he was grateful till the day that he passed. And then Pikeville, at later years in this festival, became part. We put them, they was taken on as part of this committee. And this festival could not be the largest festival, second largest in the Commonwealth, other than the Derby Festival, if it was not for the Pike County Physical Court and Pike County government, the city of Pikeville and the Chamber of Commerce and volunteers, and the Shriners. When they come to me, they was talking to a brother Mason and a brother Shriner. So it was easy for them to have access to my office and to sit and have a conversation. So that's a little bit of the history of this festival that we have. We have now more help than we ever had. We have the Pike County Tourism, which spends a vast amount of money. And we added them to the board. They wasn't on the board till recently. And I said to the board members, look, folks, they're spending $15,000 marketing it. They don't even have a seat on this board. We voted, give them a seat on the board. So they're on the board. And then you have now the city tourism, and they're on board helping. But without other sponsors, especially this one right here, we could not be successful. And we couldn't be successful if all of you, everybody sitting there, and you wouldn't be here today if you wasn't interested in having this happen and what it does. Now, if any of you have never been to the Shriners Hospital for Crippled Children, Lexington, make that trip. Make that trip and walk through there and observe what I've been able to see. We have honored a lot of people during Hillbilly Days over the years, and many of you remember the lady who was crippled, born in Pikeville, lived here, crippled, had 5 operations at that hospital. Grew up, went to the University of Kentucky, got a degree, went to in physical therapy. And remember what she did? She went back to the Shriners Hospital and signed a contract for 5 years to give back because what that hospital had done for her. And there are stories like that. And if you all attend the openings, and we honor some crippled children every year, and then we honor somebody who has contributed to their community in some way. We do that at the opening every year. I've been blessed to preside at 36 of those openings. And say, well, I'm 35 of them. This is 37. I couldn't go because my daughter, when a senior, couldn't go on her senior trip because she's over in the old Methodist hospital, and I'll go over and look at my daughter, Kim, and saw a tear in her eye, and she said, Dad, I missed the senior trip. And I said, Kim, when they have spring breaks, I'll take you to Florida. You know, that's a dad's love for a daughter and can't stand to see a child suffering, in pain. I kept that commitment with my daughter, and Judge Hayes was Judge Pro Tem back then, and he did the ceremony and was master of ceremonies of the opening. But that's a little bit of the history of this, and you know, 360 patients. That's the number from this county and that hospital. The only county that Pike County is second to in these crippled children and those vans you're talking about passing on the Mountain Parkway is Fayette County, and that's because of their population. There's only one greater. If you took, and I think I'm right, Jimmy, that if you took the area that the Shriners Hospital serves, I think we would probably be greater than Lexington. But the data shows that we have 360. What these volunteers, and think about what Prairie Justice did. Think about what George Wells did. And many of you people in the Masons and Shriners remember, you didn't have the van. You had George Wells sending his employees and him driving them, these blessed children out of this county down to the center. You had Prairie Justice driving himself and sending his vehicles from his funeral home. We remember that, us people that's in the Masons and the Shriners, of what these people in the past contributed. But it's by everybody partnershiping and everybody working together, regardless of what you read in the press. Forget about that paper. I don't care if they're here today or not. We're not in a fight with nobody, are we, Leo? We're here to work with everybody. We don't agree on everything, and when we don't, one thing we do is we fight for Pike County. Now, you know, these other counties, we're reasonable, we believe in regionalism, and I'll not go into that. We work with other areas. But Pike County is people that elect me, Leo, and the court, and everybody, and we support Pike County 100%, and we fight for Pike County. We're not backward. We are proud to be Pike County. We have the most progressive city in this Commonwealth, and we have the most progressive county in this Commonwealth today. And I'm going to tell you why, and then I'll sit down. Because of the Appalachian Regional Commission that brought us roads and education improvements, and because of the severance tax that I've fathered in the early 70s and the legislature passed. They took most of it, put in the state budget. But then we had a governor from Pike County. Now that's the reason, and because the leadership in this county worked together on every project we had, and everybody came together and we got something done. But today we're here for the crippled children, and we're here in this facility here, to say thank you for you, your staff, what you do. I have a proclamation that I want to give to. I don't know who I'll give it to this year. I think Brad Hall, usually the chairman, he's chairman I think this year, and I'm vice chairman. Is he present? Who wants to accept this? And if you'll come up, I'll present the proclamation. If you want to see the first proclamation naming this a county festival, you go in Heritage Hall and look at the first display case. In there is a letter stating what I told you today after Grady Kenny, his dad, and Harold Stratton made the trip to Ashland and the trip over to see the mayor, saying, we're going to come and see you. I had that letter 2 or 3 days before they showed up. But Harold had wrote me a very lengthy letter. I kept the letter. It is in that case. Stop and look at it. We appreciate, as a county government, all the help that we get from everybody, including the city, including the chamber, including all the other sponsors besides these, but this is the main sponsor. And look over here why they are, why of helping these blessed children. You're going to accept for them to come forward.
Judge, could we get some of the Shriners to come up maybe?
Some of the Shriners can come up. It's your all show. Come on up.
Thank you, Judge. Our next, tourism is very important to the economy of this area, and the Hillbilly Days definitely has an impact on this area. Our next speaker is the Pikeville City Director of Tourism and Events. I would like for you to welcome Jesse Boland.
Thank you, Joe. We always appreciate Coca-Cola for everything that they do for this festival. First off, it wouldn't be what it is without Coca-Cola and the sponsors like yourself that does so much for the festival. I apologize on behalf of the city manager, Donovan Blackburn. He couldn't be here today. He's actually was in D.C. and just got back into town. He's been working with the National League of Cities on trying to go out and gather anything that he can to help better the city of Pikeville. But first and foremost, Judge Donovan asked that everything that you've done for the festival is, we wouldn't have the festival without you, for one. So we thank you for that. And he wanted me to ask everybody, give Judge Rutherford a round of applause for everything that he's done for the festival. But again, the city is proud to be a part of this. They're proud to be the host city for the festival. It does draw a lot of tourism. There's a lot of people that come into the city. You know, in between 100 to 150,000 people come into Pikeville for those 3 days. Tony's office, Tony's here, Tony Tackett with County Tourism. Their office is flooded continuously through the 3 days of the festival and all year long with information that his office staff, Lena Goff and Jay Shepard, help promote and help market and help outreach and touch these people with the information that they need, whether it be media or whether it just be people that's coming in to stay at the hotels or at the RV park. So there's a lot of people that we get to see on the inside that we get to work hand in hand with or talk that we're very proud to and very proud to represent the festival and the city and the county. So the judge actually said about everything that we needed to say. Again, Joe, we greatly appreciate Coca-Cola. Everything that you all do, again, the festival wouldn't be what it is without sponsors such as yourself. So we greatly appreciate you.
Long before many of us each year start thinking about Hillbilly Days, the Chamber of Commerce is already, their staff is already at work, booking, getting with vendors and getting their deposits and planning on the next festival, helping, doing their part and make sure everything works smoothly as far as the execution piece, so as far as their role in it. So our next speaker is the President of Operations for the Southeast Kentucky Chamber of Commerce. I'd like for you to welcome Jim Workman.
Hello, it's a pleasure to be here with you today on behalf of our president of the Southeast Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, Jared Arnett, our chairman, Danny Van Hoos with Appalachian Wireless, all of our board members. Joe's one of those that give so many hours every year for the betterment of our communities and festivals like Hillbilly Days. Also, on behalf of over 500 members that the Southeast Kentucky Chamber of Commerce represents, many of those are businesses throughout Eastern Kentucky, and certainly a strong amount in Pike County. We appreciate the opportunity to be here with you today. We appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this festival. It's ever so important to our community and to the children and the families that this festival assists. Jared Arnett could not be here today. Also, the judge mentioned Brad Hall. He's now with Kentucky Power, but still sits on our board at the Chamber. They're working on an ever-important regional economic development project, and already scheduled to be out and about in the field today. Let me assure you that they did want to be here and send their apologies. As Joe mentioned, our staff at the Chamber begins working on Hillbilly Days November 1st every year. 6 months out of the year, our Chamber staff is working on this event. That's how important it is to the Chamber and to the businesses that our Chamber represents. That's half a year that we're giving to this festival. The judge mentioned all the volunteers that help make this festival successful, and there are countless numbers. Those of you in this room and so many more. The Chamber alone has over 75 that come in to help. As Joe mentioned, Coca-Cola sends a big team of folks in to help us with the arts and crafts folks in the parking garage, and so many more on the streets that help make sure that goes off, hopefully without a hitch. My wife and I are from West Virginia, and we've lived here since 1996, and we call this home now. And Judge Rutherford, one of the greatest honors that we have is every year leading up to Hillbilly Days, we get people that ask us back home in West Virginia what this festival's about. You know, they see it on TV, and people are, they're dressed up, they're looking like hillbillies, and it looks like a lot of fun. But the great thing is, Leslie and I get to tell folks back home, where home used to be, what Hillbilly Days is really all about. And it's about the Shriners and their mission to help children and help families and to really make a difference. And that's why we're on this earth. That's why we're here. And we're all in agreement of that. That's why we give so much to this festival every year. So we're very thankful to be able to do that. Hillbilly Days, collaborative effort between the Shriners, county government, city government, county tourism, city tourism, the Southeast Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, so many volunteers, and so many sponsors. And Coca-Cola is right at the top of the sponsorships each and every year. And Joe, we appreciate that so much. Without Coca-Cola and without your team of folks, I don't know that we certainly couldn't deliver what we do each year. So we're very appreciative of that. Thank you for your time today, and we're looking forward to a great festival this year.
I think the judge mentioned earlier, if you haven't been to the hospital, you need to put that on your list of things to do, and because it's a quality facility, the one in Lexington, and they give quality care. And we're fortunate today to have a representative from the hospital. I'd like for you to welcome Wanda Rice.
Happy spring. It's an honor to be here. I was in Whitesburg a couple of weeks ago, and on the drive down it was foggy, it was gray. When I looked out the car windows it was brown. And I noticed today, just in 2 weeks, how beautiful Eastern Kentucky is in the springtime. So we're very pleased to be a part of your Hillbilly Days Festival. I thank all of you for what you do, not only for Hillbilly Days Festival, but many of you for the hospital all year long. It's when Judge talked about and Joe talked about all the people who come in for the festival, the sideline of that is a lot of them call the hospital and ask on their way from Canada and Springfield, Massachusetts, They come from every state imaginable, and I would suspect you even have some international guests at that event. They want to stop by and see the hospital, so it's a great plus for everybody. It lets us show off how great our state is. Judge Rutherford scooped me again on how many kids from Pikeville we have, and he is right. It is the second largest gathering of patients of all the counties in Kentucky or any of the other states that we serve. And it's just barely, when you take Pikeville and combine it with the surrounding counties, it's nearly 1,500 kids from this area that come to the hospital for services. And without the Shriners transporting them, the support of all the people in Pike County, and I'm sure some of the surrounding counties who put on this festival, we would not be able to do that. We deliver care to these kids. They're all the same to us. We don't care if they do or don't have insurance, if they can or can't make any payments. We're just there to deliver the care that the kids need, and we're honored to do that. We appreciate your support for that. And I want to say on April 8th, I would like to invite all of you to the hospital. It is our monthly board meeting, and what we'll be doing on April 8th is awarding a plaque. We have a big wall in the front of the hospital. It's called the Philanthropic Wall. You have to be a significant donor to have a plaque on that wall, and we will be honoring, and I have to put my specs on here to get the right wording of the plaque. The plaque will say, to the Hillbilly Days in Pikeville, Kentucky, with sincere thanks to Hillbilly Clan and Outhouse 2 for in grateful recognition of the support of our hospital. The total amount, last year Hillbilly Days donated $68,000 just in 1 year. This is the single largest fundraiser that our hospital has, Hillbilly Days is. Give yourself a hand for that. The total for Hillbilly Days is $790,000. $790,000. That's amazing. So I invite all of you to visit the hospital anytime you're in Lexington. On the weekends, we lock it down. We want to keep the kids, anybody who's in there, safe. Most of the kids come and go very quickly now. We're seeing right now about 10,800 kids. That's how many children that we are responsible to deliver expert pediatric orthopedic care to. So if you give us a call, if you want to bring a group up, church group, civic group, anyone you ever want to bring, we're happy to host you, give you a tour. And I can't sit down without thanking Joe and the people at Coke. I've been with Shriners for 25 years, and when I landed there from another agency in healthcare, I was just shocked at this huge community of 5 states and people that support the hospital. And Hillbilly Days was one of the most fun things that I got exposed to and learned about, and I still have all my Coke bottles. The little souvenir Coke bottles, they're in my office. So when people come in from other places, they always look at those Coke bottles because they've never quite seen anything like that. So it gives me a chance to talk about Coca-Cola, Hillbilly Days, and all the things that you guys do for it. And I'm honored to be here, and we appreciate your support. Thank you.
Just a second, Joe. I'm not on the program, but I just wanted to get the opportunity to thank Wanda and the hospital. My grandson had surgery at the Shriners Hospital when he was 2 weeks old. For 1 year, we took him back once a month. And now he's 10 years old, and we take him back once a year. And so I really haven't had the opportunity to say thank you. I've been a Shriner for 40-some years. I've been involved in the Hillbilly Days from day one. And I'd just like to say thank you for all the great work that you all do at the hospital.
I'm happy to do it.
We are fortunate today to have the potentate from the Lhasa Temple in Ashland, here today. I would like to welcome Carl Wellman.
Good morning. Most everybody knows what a Shriner is, but a lot of people don't know how it began. In 1870, many Masons held their lunch at a restaurant called the Knickerbocker Cottage in New York City. One particularly jovial group used to meet regularly at a special table on the second floor. They became known for their good humor, wit, and often discussed the idea of a new fraternity for Masons, in which fun and fellowship would be stressed more than ritual. On September the 26th, 1872, the Shriners held their first meeting. The first temple's name was Mecca. The original 13 Masons of the Knickerbocker Cottage lunch group was named charter members. In 1875, there was 43 Shriners in the organization. In an effort to spur the membership, at the June 6, 1876 meeting, Fleming was elected the first imperial potentate. After some reworking, by 1878 there was 425 members in 13 temples in 8 states. By 1888 there were 7,210 Shriners. While the organization was still primarily social, instances of philanthropic work became more frequent. During the 1888 yellow fever epidemic in Jacksonville, Florida, members of the New Temple, Morocco, and the Masonic Knights Templar worked long hours to relieve the suffering populace. In 1889, Shriners came to the Johnstown flood, and there was 50,000 Shriners at that particular point. In the early 1900s, membership of the Shriners grew rapidly. During the time between 1900 and 1918, there was growing support for establishment of an official shrine charity. In 1906, Shriners sent $25,000 to San Francisco after the Great Earthquake to help the stricken city. In 1915, Shriners contributed $10,000 for the relief of the European war victims. A committee was chosen after months of work, research, and debate, and the committee concluded that there should not be just one hospital, but a network of hospitals throughout the United States. The committee brought the proposal to the 1921 Imperial Session in Des Moines, Iowa, and it passed. Before the June 1922 session, the cornerstone of the first Shriners Hospital for crippled children was laid at Shreveport, Louisiana. Over a few years, the network of hospitals grew to 22. Now, the organization, the Shriners, was developed for fun and fellowship. In 1970, Jim Harris had the same idea for an organization within the Shrine. His idea was the Hillbillies. And from 1970, Clan 1, Outhouse 1, and El Hasa Temple, it's grown to what you see today. In closing, I'd like to thank, of course, Coca-Cola. Thank you for your support. Special thanks goes out to Pikeville, the Pikeville Hillbillies, and everyone else's help. Thank you very much.
We've got a tradition, I'm not sure how many years this makes, it's several, that we have Jimmy Kinney always leads us in the Hillbilly Toast. Jimmy is the son of one of the original founders of Hillbilly Days, and I would like to welcome him up at this time.
I'll tell you what, it's hard to come on after this group. You know, I mean, what do you say when they've said it all? But, Joe, you know, we've been around a long time, and you and your staff and Coke has done so much for the hospital, for Hillbilly Days. I mean, we have made quite a few trips to the hospital in the past years, and we kind of got away from it a few years now, but I know the thought's there, and we're still working on it. So I really appreciate you and all the staff here. Numbers, they show it. And you know, right now the hospital's going through a whole lot, and you've heard the numbers over here. I think we're around 11,000 patients at the hospital. have over 1,100 active patients just in the surrounding counties. Judge said we had around 360 active patients just in Pike County. This is what it's about, taking care of our kids. And you know, you can't do this without transportation. Transportation came about years ago when a guy named Bumper Stiltner had this dream about getting a van to transport our kids. We used to have it all come out of Ashland. And we decided, or Bumper at that time, got a van from Ashland, and then they came up, and then we started transporting kids. Then it came along that we wanted to do our own van. So we purchased our own van. Through Hillbilly Days, we take the top 10% off the top of whatever we make and put it in to a fund just for our new van. This way we can transport our kids and make sure that they have good transportation, the best transportation. So we have like 20-some members that are on the A team that do our transportation. 2 people, this is free. They will pick up the child, they'll take it to the hospital for its appointment, bring it back home, and there we are. And we do this all over. I know Ashland is they do the same thing, so we're here too. But without the thought of Bumper Stiltner, you know, and what he did here, this would not have been where it is. So the 18 group, and I see a lot of drivers out here, you guys are what makes it happen here. This is what we work for, is transporting those kids to that hospital. So really, I want to thank all the drivers, but I want to thank also Bumper Stiltner for what he did. He's not with us now, but really thank him. There's ways that we make money during Hillbilly Days. And one of the ways is with our jib joint, we call it. And we're at the corner of the City Park and Main Street and the other corner. On the corner of Walk and Don't Walk. You'll find us. But anyway, we have this little jib joint set up, and we sell the original hillbilly stuff, hillbilly junk. Now, when you walk all over town, don't forget the hillbilly joint, because when you buy something from there, every penny of that money goes to the hospital. So keep that in mind, that drop by and spend a little money with us, because I mean, it's all about the dollars, and we got to make them. This is our time. And I know Wanda mentioned that we were, how much money at the Hillbilly Days?
Hillbilly Days, $790,000.
And that just took effect when? We just started keeping record of this.
I think they've only had about 25 years worth of it.
25 years. This 37 years that we've been doing this. I figured up a long time ago that we have contributed in this area. I know that these are the numbers. We have contributed over $1 million to this hospital. I mean, this is where they started taking the money and keeping track of it. But now, we took money a long time before. So, folks, really, we're a $1 million project here for this hospital. So we're going to keep that in mind, but, you know, we need to keep going. It's not something we just got to stop. We got to make money. I know that right now we're going through a new development of a new hospital. This is going to be across from UK, and got a letter the other day, and we're needing about $10 million for this hospital. And it's going to be great for our children. Our kids are going to be able to have a good place, best place ever was. But as everything else, they need money. So let's try to help a little bit and work into that $10 million project that they're working on. So they need money. You know, I look around here, and I've heard these guys talk, and I look out here, and you guys are going like this. I'm going to tell you something. It is almost Hillbilly Days. And you know, when we get into Hillbilly Days, we're going to have fun. Am I right? All right, here's what we're going to do. How about, you know, just get the excitement rolling. How about a good hee-haw? Got it? Hee-haw! All right, now let's get those lungs a pumping here, because look here. We got to greet these people coming into Pikeville with a smile. And we got to get them rolling, because guess what? We want their money. We want after that money. All right, I don't care what we do, as long as they come in with money and they leave broke. All of it goes to the hospital. So with that being said, where is my drink? Right here. The best part of this thing, I guess, is called a hillbilly toast. Here's to the new hillbillies and to the old, the story of the Cobb you never been told, and to treat the Crescent with great respect, for the vows you've taken you shall never forget. And to the Crescent upon the door we shall honor and respect forevermore. And the Cobb shall be renowned. They come in 3 colors, red, white, and brown. When you make that last journey to that mountain in the sky, you will honor the Cobb in a suite by and by. And when you pass that little brown shack along that glorious forevermore, remember, respect the Crescent upon the door. Here's to you, Colt, Joe, and the hillbillies. Let's get it together. Yeehaw! All I got to say.
Good job, Eddie. Well, thank you all again for being here today. We've got food back here, and we're going to give away some door prizes. And before everybody gets gone, I would like to get a couple of pictures with the checks, if that'd be possible. But thank all of our speakers for being here. Give them, if you would, give them another hand. Thanks to the Coca-Cola team for setting this up today, and appreciate their work on this. They worked really hard. And again, thank you all, and be safe. Have a good day.